Let's fight. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, share the live, smash that emoji button, folks, and let's fight. Pace and power. We got a lot to share with you folks tonight. We got a lot to share with you. Wherever you're joining us from, good folks, share the live, smash that emoji button. We got the opening set. It's just some of you wonderful folks missing. We got to hold a second or two. We can't stay long. Good to have each and every one of you. We can't hold long for y'all. Pace and power. 23 seconds in. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. We're just coming off putting together some information on the search and rescue for the Guyana Defense Force soldiers and that missing helicopter. Folks, my God, pray for our country. Pray for our country. It can be an easy time for the leaders. It can be an easy time for the government. Pray for our country, folks. Anything that can go wrong, going wrong right now, pray for them. Pray for us, good folks. Carol Jacobs, good to see you on the live, and Audrey Ward and all the other folks joining us tonight. Share the live, smash that emoji button for us, good folks. Shelly Redder, we see you too. Yvette Jr., we see you as well. As I said, good folks, welcome to our broadcast. Shauna Fortune, we see you there too, folks. Pace and power, wherever you're joining us from tonight, we're happy and we are delighted that you folks are here with us, folks. Happy and delighted that you folks are here with us. We are following all things Guyana Defense Force. Of course, you know, folks, we learned today that the military aircraft, one of the GDF helicopters, went missing along with its 7-man crew, folks. And as I said, there was a press conference earlier this evening by the Guyana Defense Force, and we had none other than the Chief of Staff himself address this very issue. Folks, take a look and take a listen. Share the live, smash that emoji button, folks, and let's have a go at it.
I will speak to a particular issue that relates to one of our aircraft. Call sign 8 Romeo Alpha Yankee Romeo. It's one of the two new Bell 412 aircraft that was on a command mission today under the command of Colonel Michael Shahood. Colonel Shahood is our commander for the 1st Infantry Battalion. He was on a mission to visit our troops on the western border. On that flight, we had the following persons: Brigadier retired Gary Beaton, Colonel Michael Shahood, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome, Staff Sergeant Jason Khan, and the crew, that's the pilot and the engineer, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, Lieutenant Andy O'Crawford, and Corporal Dwayne Johnson. The aircraft was en route to our borders. It landed at Olive Creek and refueled. Shortly after takeoff, we lost contact communication. An ELT signal, which is the emergency locator transmitter signal, was emitted and has transmitted through satellite communication and to the aviation authorities. Whenever an ELT signal is emitted on any aircraft, it signals an issue. An ELT signal is triggered based on a crash landing, hard impact, or it can be triggered manually. I must tell you that the weather condition in the general area has been very not the best. Heavy overcast, raining, etc. The terrain is mountainous and heavily forested. On receipt of that ELT signal, it activated our analysis. We attempted to make contact with the aircraft and no communication was obtained. We immediately activated our search and rescue process. This involves a number of things: coordination across our own services and also with the private sector. We had deployed our Skyvan with a search and rescue team from our special forces, and we also had the support of Omni helicopters, which also supported the search efforts today. I wish to say that those efforts in the area, by the use of the two aircraft I mentioned, did not yield what we were hoping for because of the bad weather condition in the area. There are some photographs we are going to show you to give you an idea how difficult it was to actually flew in the area. So it's on your.
That mic, your mic, a little bit closer to you. Yes.
If you look to your right, this is the kind of weather conditions we had for the entire day. Search and rescue efforts has to be conducted in a safe manner. Having known the danger and the challenges of being in that area. So we want to ensure that the team exercise caution. It did not allow us anywhere to have a search and rescue intervention to locate and to provide rescue tasks. As a force, we are always concerned about the safety of our ranks, and this remains a priority for us to locate and save and secure our ranks. As the Chief of Staff, I remain optimistic on a number of criteria. The officers on this aircraft are among our best.
Yep. Folks, welcome back. That is Chief of Staff Omar Khan updating members of the media on their search efforts today for their 7 missing servicemen. I think 6 serving currently. There is one who is a retired member of the Guyana Defense Force, but Colonel Omar Khan there bringing us up to date on those search efforts. And as you heard him say there, the terrain, the vegetation there, it's very difficult vegetation. The weather also, terrible weather in that area, which prevented them from doing more today. But at this hour, 7 men and that Guyana Defense Force aircraft is still missing. Folks, we're living in turbulent times. Kyle Bino, Debbie Collins, Anthony Jarvis, Wilma Grant. Turbulent times, folks. Yep. If you believe in a higher power, I encourage all of you to pray for our country, across the religious divide, across the political divide in our country. Pray for this nation of ours, Oren Barker, Hazel Chase, and Ayaba Natasha, Patricia, Brenda, Henry, Emily Duran. Pray for our country. Last evening, we heard that the president of Venezuela took upon himself to declare Essequibo a state of theirs. But they can believe whatever they want to believe. They could believe whatever they want to believe, folks. We believe that this matter of Essequibo and the boundaries already settled since 1899, folks. Already settled. And so we heard the president saying that they will continue, folks, the diplomatic efforts, among other pursuits, as this regime there in Caracas seemed to be growing bolder by the day. They seem to be going bolder by the day. Dan Johnson, Rami Leander, Everett Small, Bob Annie, they seem to be growing bolder and bolder by the day. David Papin, Avani Fatkau. And so the mettle of this administration is being tested on every front. I think there was a cabinet meeting today, waiting to hear what came out of that. Venezuela declared Essequibo a state. I think they even appointed leadership for Essequibo. The gumption, Rami Leander, the gumption of the folks. Folks, we are in uncharted territory. Just in case you haven't heard it from anybody as yet, we are in uncharted territory here. And we'll give you just in a jiffy some of what Irfan Ali, the president of Guyana, told the nation last evening. For those of you who missed it, we're going to try to bring you guys up to speed on that front. As I hold for the guys to cue it up for us, part of what he said is that they have alerted their international partners. This is some of the diplomatic effort I told you about earlier. It has alerted its bilateral partners, the UN, right, of this desperate and blatant threats by Venezuela. Irfan Ali said, desperate and blatant threats. Folks, as I said, we are in uncharted waters where this Guyana-Venezuela border controversy is. We know the results of the referendum, and we know what has happened since that time. The diplomatic efforts, you heard the government say time and again, it's our first line of defense, and so they continue to pursue that end. And you're going to hear Irfan Ali talk about having several countries supporting us. You're going to hear some of that, folks. We're just holding for the guys to cue it up for us. It's a lot of moving parts. Another thing we heard him say last evening is that they're not going to allow any, what they call violation. We will not allow our territory to be violated, nor its development stymied. It's part of what Irfan Ali told the nation last night, folks. So bring you guys up to speed, just in case you missed it. Just in case you missed it, some of what took place overnight. And let me see if we have that queued up for you. Let me see if we have that queued up for you. Some of what, I don't think we have that just yet, folks. We might just have to go with what we have. We may just have to go with what we have, folks. Let me see if we have it here. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
Hello, Guyanese. I address you on an unsettling development in relation to the unlawful claim by Venezuela to Guyana's Essequibo region, which constitutes more than 2/3 of Guyana's national territory. Tonight, President Maduro announced several measures which his government intends to take in enforcing the outcome of the referendum held on December 3rd, 2023. As I made clear from the date the referendum was first announced, this is a direct threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence, and in violation of fundamental principles of international law enshrined in the UN and OS charters. The measures announced are in blatant disregard of the order given by the International Court of Justice on December 1st, 2023. Guyana views this as an imminent threat to its territorial integrity and will intensify precautionary measures to safeguard its territory. I have tonight spoken to the Secretary General of the United Nations and several leaders, alerting them of these dangerous developments and the desperate actions of President Maduro that fly in the face of international law and constitute a grave threat to international peace and security. Also, Guyana will tomorrow bring this matter to the United Nations Security Council for appropriate action to be taken by that body. Further, we've engaged CARICOM, the OAS, the Commonwealth, and many of our bilateral partners, including the United States of America, Brazil, the United Kingdom, and France. The Guyana Defense Force is on full alert and has engaged its military counterparts, including the U.S. Southern Command. By defying the court, Venezuela has rejected international law, the rule of law generally, fundamental justice and morality, and the preservation of international peace and security. They have literally declared themselves an outlaw nation. Nothing they do, however, will stop Guyana from proceeding with a case in the ICJ or stop the ICJ from ultimately issuing its final judgment on the merits of the case. We will not allow our territory to be violated, nor the development of our country to be stymied by this desperate threat. In addition to this statement, I wish to respond to two questions. One from Stabrook News, which states, and I will read the question, will the Guyana government report President Maduro's announcement this evening to the United Nations Security Council and the International Court of Justice in light of the latter's order that there be no aggravation of the circumstances? In relation to this question, absolutely. Guyana will be reporting this matter. We have already spoken to the UNSG, and early in the morning, we will be officially writing the UN Security Council. We will be informing the court of this development. And as I said, in the next 24 hours, we'll be informing all our bilateral partners and different agencies, including CARICOM and Commonwealth and the OS, on this recent development. Let me be very clear that President Maduro's action is in open defiance of the ICJ order. In my opinion, he's testing the mettle of the ICJ. He has taken a lonely and worrisome road of neglecting his responsibility as a member of the UN family. An adventurous and reckless path that can only bring instability to this region and can only create more uncertain circumstances for the Venezuelan people. We urge President Maduro to rethink these missteps and to act and behave in accordance with international law. All our actions and everything we do from Guyana is aimed at ensuring this region remains a region of peace. We want nothing. Our only ambition is for this region to remain a region of peace, a zone of peace, and for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Guyana to be respected. We ask for nothing more or nothing less. So yes, this matter will be reported. We've already engaged. And the second question is from the Guyana Times. What is government's message to investors in light of Venezuela's position? Our message is very clear. Your investment is in a safe, democratic, stable country in which the rule of law prevails. You have nothing to worry about when you invest in a country that governs itself in accordance with the rule of law, that stands on the side of democracy, and that understands what true freedom is. So there is nothing to fear. Our international partners and international community are ready to support us. They've assured us of their support. And all we want is for these missteps to be corrected by President Maduro, and for Venezuela and the government of Venezuela to commit itself to peace and to act in a manner that is befitting of a member of the United Nations family. To my fellow Guyanese, we are here to ensure the safety of this country, the territorial integrity of this country, the sovereignty of this country, and to protect every citizen. Tonight, I want...
In case you're now joining us, you're listening there to President Irfan Ali last evening, late last evening, responding to Venezuela declaration of Essequibo as a state appointing leadership that's going to be based close by on the Venezuelan side of the border in that region there, among other things, folks. Among other issues, these are some of the things we're grappling with at this hour. Some of the other information we want you to know about the ambassador, the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana and his counterpart, Utah, met today. Good folks, as they characterized it, to engage following Maduro's actions, I'm certain, asking the ambassador of Venezuela to explain his government's actions. You know, I'm sorry we still got him here. I think they'd gone back already. I thought they'd have gone back already. So this was happening, folks. Ambassador Yvan Gil, the Venezuelan ambassador to Guyana, summoned today to explain his government's actions. Folks, you all understand what we say when we say how much of uncharted waters we're in? We are in uncharted waters. Uncharted waters, folks. What happens next? What happens next? That's the big question out there. What's going to happen next? I want to preoccupy myself with what's going to be our response to what happens next. So there was this diplomatic engagement today. Who's sharing the live, folks? Valid, Tracy Clark, credible information. That's what's happening on that front. When we saw the other side of our borders, Brazil reinforcing its borders with Venezuela and Guyana over the Essequibo tension. They ain't taking no chances. We need a couple of these. Don't come wrong, the Brazilians funny. They're reinforcing their borders. I see Chen Sing said, thought is a waste. Well, nothing new there. Esther Allen, Ibon Lamy, Leslie Thompson said, Lord, help us. I think you summon collectively what Guyanese feel. What and how Guyanese feel. Lord, help us. Wherever you are tonight. Lord, help we. Folks, Brazil reinforcing its borders with both Venezuela and with Guyana. Uncharted waters. Lord help us. We see in the comments, Lester Williams, Sukshan Sudhari, Savannah Page, Carol Jacobs, Veronica Primo Rollins. A lot of folks asking, where's Jack Dio? When the show says we need help. For true. Where's Jack Dio? This is a man that has thoughts on everything under the sun. Is he back from Dubai? He didn't come back with air fund. He's probably still in Dubai. Oh, y'all didn't know he didn't come back? No, he didn't come back. He stayed behind. I think the conference date ties up on the 12th of December. Yeah. So anytime after then, Brazil reinforcing its borders with Guyana. Patricia Singh, Anne-Marie Selby, Julie Lewis. Some of y'all can't handle the truth, you know. Some of y'all can't handle the truth. China speaking on the Guyana-Venezuela Border Controversy. Did you know that Wilma Grant, Enid Roxanne Garraway, telling us, perhaps what we already know, Guyana and Venezuela must resolve the border dispute, saying it's a friend of both countries. So they can come like peacemakers now. If we put our trust in China. You know where we going? Somebody says, Father, Father. Spoily, is it you? China's President Xi Jinping. I ain't hear him say full, final, and complete 1899. Oh, we must resolve how? Like Russia and Ukraine, eh? No doubt. Paul Anthony, Glenford Gordon, Cheryl, where China standing? Well, if Mia Motley and Keith Rowley could be dancing between the raindrops on their support for a CARICOM brother and sister country, how much more China? How much more China? That's the reality we have to deal with. Yonet and Diane, Enid Miggins, Andrew Jennings, Bob Ali. This is the reality that we have, folks. It is the reality. You know, we were listening to a chairman of the Region 4, RDC, Daniel Shiram. And one of the interesting things he said, we got to put aside the rhetoric. We got to put aside the rhetoric. 7 men didn't go missing and an aircraft down when they finally made that statement last evening. But we know differently now. And Daniel Siram, Regional Democratic Council, Region 4, has an interesting proposition. Put aside the rhetoric. It's time for concrete steps now. What are we going to do next? We realize we're all we got to depend on. But even in this time and dispensation, you still got marginalization, discrimination happening. Take a look, folks, and listen what the chairman of Region 4, Region Democratic Council Region 4, said today on social media.
Regular national rhetoric can no longer hold. No longer can we turn to the Guyanese public and say that we are engaging with our international partners on this. As I've read the articles and comments from many Guyanese, and I've gotten messages and calls and voice notes from many concerned Guyanese on this matter, right? They are concerned with their own livelihood. Hence, the main purpose for this live this afternoon is to speak to the next aspect of what Guyanese should be doing. And the current posture of all Guyanese, while being anxious and concerned, is to start preparation. Preparation, you may say, for what? And at this point in time, we do not know. But I would say that preparation for all eventualities that may happen or that could happen in such a situation. It is vital that Guyanese be furnished with all of the information that we need at this point in time. Pre-referendum, there was some amount of information being shared by the government of Guyana with the populace, but that information has been well saturated now, and the information that we need now is the planning guidance for all Guyanese going forward. We need to know how will these orders put forward by the government of Venezuela affect both the Essequibo County and all administrative regions of Guyana, politically, socially, and economically. We need to call together immediately a national meeting of all major stakeholders. I know that some persons watching this live may be saying that some things should not be placed in the public domain as they are matters of national security. I do agree with you to some extent, but I do agree that all Guyanese must have ample information so that they can plan and prepare and somewhat prepare their families for whatever is to come, since none of us here know definitely what will be coming or what is to come.
Yeah, folks, that was the chairman of Region 4. Daniel Siram says information is important. Information. So only some people know. Chin Henry says, bring back Granger. But you would have seen the administration calling and all those who could play a role here. Heather Rowe, Carol Jacobs, Carol Monroe. You think they'd seen them calling upon, putting together think tank, former chiefs of staff, former presidents, maybe. Let's get the best ideas in the room and see what we come up with. But typically, you got some folks in this country who believe that everything resides with them. All the answers reside with them. Savage Dish, all the answers reside with them. Where China standing? Where is China standing? We have to have a definitive position out of Beijing, like we've had out of some former presidents in Latin America who have wrote a blistering letter, I think it is, against Nicolas Maduro. They're part of a freedom and democracy group made up of several former presidents in South America. And today, they issued a strong statement condemning what they describe as an aggressive and illegal actions, as the aggressive and illegal actions by President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. And this is these four past presidents, former presidents in South America: Ivan Duque Marquez, he was president of Colombia. All right. We have also Andres Pastrana Arango, another former president of Colombia. Mario Benitez, former president of Paraguay. And then we got Sebastian Pinera. He's the former president of Chile. Together they've said Venezuela actions amount to aggressive and illegal actions by President Nicolas Maduro. Folks, we ain't choosing where support coming from now. We're taking it where we're getting it. We're taking it where we're getting it. Like some of y'all last, they said, I ain't want Kamala support. Come on, behave yourselves. I ain't want Kamala support. Something she did Granger and perceived to have done Granger. I am grateful for the support we have here from Mr. Marquez, Arango, Benitez, and Pinera. Thank you for your support. We're going to ring the bell one time for them. We're taking the support where it's coming from. We're going to take that support, folks, where it's coming from. Not necessarily where we want it to come from. Thankful to all those countries, France and the USA and the UK. We saw the EU as well. Very definitive, unlike Mia and Rowley. Unlike our CARICOM brothers and sisters, folks. Unlike our CARICOM brothers and sisters. Well, folks, you know the 592 is trouble. You know, once we get into the 592. Problems is trouble. Very problematic and troublesome. We heard that the distribution of the old age pension cash grant had run off. It's chaos and confusion. Chaotic, chaotic, and confusion. Confusing. But we saw some of it today, folks, in full action. We saw some of it in action today. Take a look. Take a listen. This is the cash grant distribution in a particular area in Guyana.
How long are you waiting here? Yeah. How long are you here? Control, officer. Control. Stop sharing numbers. Until you give us all the guns.
I'm set to one hero. What is this going on?
So I got 501 and 502. Let me keep it in system so the people could go in order. This was part in the story. 502 band, 501, 502. Then 503 and they got it.
Happy by the number.
Go to the buy for me.
This is it?
Yeah, go to the buy. We got 503.
Watch people waiting here.
That's some what we saw, folks. The pensioners cash grant, that one-off cash grant. Chaos and confusion. We heard of people fainting in some instances. You heard there people were out early this morning before the sun came up. Before the sunlight greeted us, they were out there waiting. Hours later, still waiting. Still waiting. Chaos and confusion apparently on all fronts. Apparently, folks, on all fronts. Look at some what else we were following. Remember we told this story? Before we let you guys go, big uncle, remember he liked the Spanish girl? Huh? He liked the Spanish girl half his age and ended up stabbing her after she spurned his affections. Well, we learned that she was released from hospital today. Thankfully, prayers work, you know, folks. Prayers work. She was released from hospital. Yep. 70-something, he was a young girl. Look, we're thankful that prayers were answered, and the folks down there, the hospital, they would have to do as well. We're thankful for all involved, folks. All involved. Yeah. 200 persons arrested for littering. For littering. In this tense time, how you can litter? How are you going to litter? Lock them up, man. Lock them up. We're driving up the East Bank. Saw a bus just fling a can outside. The bus empty, you know. And the driver can't even hold that receptacle until he gets to his destination and then dispose of it responsibly. Just fling it through the window. Lock them up. Lock them up. 200 of them. You got more. Filthy, nasty self. Lock them up. That's what we're saying, folks. Well, look story now. Look story now. Folks, you heard this, man? We told you all last evening of the rogue police. You're not police from thief now. You don't know police from thief. The Guyana Police Force tells us of this Chinese national that was robbed. And the Guyana Police Force told us they have the evidence that their police escorted with sirens the men who robbed the gentleman. It is alleged that the two gentlemen you see before you used the public vehicle, the state vehicle with sirens, to escort the robbers to rob the man and back, to and fro. This is according, folks, to the Guyana Police Force. You can't make this stuff up. But I see them guys must be watching regional people smuggling chicken in ambulance, smuggling this, smuggling that. And them boys getting very creative. Could you imagine that? We're not making this stuff up. They said they provided escort. Now when you see sirens going by you, you don't know who is who and what is what. Carl Monroe, when you got to pull over on Hazel Chase, Chin Sing, Neville Seatal, Abira, sirens coming by you, and you got to pull in the corner. You don't know if it's bandits going there. You don't know what you don't know. Them boys can be on a mission. Melissa, you think you understand that? Anthony Jarvis, how police were escorting criminal elements and bandits to rob a man and then escorted them out of the area? Then Abraham said, well, sirens use it for everything now, including robberies. It just makes you think, folks. It just makes you think. Look at us we're following. A businesswoman, Sylvina Thakur, robbed of $10 million at a Windsor Castle home. $10 million. They fetch away. $10 million. She said came outside to check to see. She recalled that she heard a knock at the door and thought it was the dog. To their shock, 4 gunmen entered through the back door. Thakur said, I came outside to check if the door was secure. When I saw 4 gunmen open the door, unscrew the bolt, all of them had guns, threw us down in the middle of the house, she says. And during the robbery, the gunmen took her gold bangles. Think it easy in this country. She ring. One of them started inquiring about her wedding ring. And after confirming that one of the rings was indeed her wedding ring, they allowed her to keep it. They allowed her to keep her wedding ring. The assailants then targeted her sister, Davina Gobadan, confiscating her gold chain and all the cash from one of the businesses. Crime spiraling. Unabated before the advent of the tensions on the border. And we've been asking the question here, where Robeson? Well, last year, City, Minister of Home Affairs. And that's the Jagdio for that matter. Only vice, so-called, installed vice president. 10 million gone. Police said they got 1 in custody. 1 in custody. But look this, folks. One program, look this one now. While you are out, folks, police accused of helping a businessman to break his employer's hand. Pimp him. Who's sharing the life? A police. Folks, we told you, when we know police from thief anymore in this country, maybe it's time we pack up. Maybe it's time we pack up. When we don't know police from thief. Maybe it's time, folks. Maybe it's time we pack up. As we wrap up, folks. As we wrap up. Water woes. They say the water ambulance. Listen to this. The water ambulance in Region 2. Essequibo, Region 2. Ain't working properly. They have to rush a patient out. They said it was hell to find the driver for the ambulance. The patient was at the stelling. Had to wait about an hour for the boat. The pilot, the driver, to come. Then when he come, he don't have a keys for the boat. They end up breaking the lock to get access to the boat. They get access to the boat and get gas. Folks, that's equipment, you know. Region 2. Region 2. Region 2. Region 2. Took an hour to come. You got breaking the boat. He got the keys. The boat ain't got gas. Boat ain't starting. Folks, where the oil money going? Where the oil money going? That's the question I want to ask. Where the oil money going? Think we know the answer. Think we know the answer, folks. Following up on that fraud scandal and rocking the Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHMPA. But the investigation is still ongoing. But three weeks and counting since we heard those damning revelations, several high officials there, the Central Housing and Planning Authority, snared in this corruption scandal. And boys they're still investigating until we forget about it. Until we forget about it, they're still investigating corruption on every front, folks. Every front. Football corruption. Football corruption. In the football fraternity, they got elections coming up. Out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, this group debarred, this group can't vote. Is there a sphere of life in this country in touch by the corrupt tentacles of the PPP? Is there any sphere? Corruption on every front. Good folks. On every front. Bit of good news they're telling us there. Boosting primary health care. Thanks to PAHO and IDB and the World Bank. Launching an initiative in the Americas. Oh, y'all tell us these boys here, they ain't got time with these things. They ain't got no time with these things, folks. And as we wrap up, they're telling us, oh, the economy to double locally. That's why Chavez them so interested. The Chavistas, the Maduros. But we ain't feeling it, though. We ain't feeling it. We rich on paper. Fastest growing economy. Biggest GDP. High income country. But we're not feeling it. We're not feeling it. The IDB says we're supposed to be growing. The IMF, rather, the International Monetary Fund. We're supposed to be growing. They say by 2028, the size of the economy should double. We're not feeling that. IMF. We're not feeling that. Right? We're not feeling it. Why are we not clearing the drains in the city? With any regularity. We're not clearing the drains in the outskirts, the suburbs, with any regularity. So we saw a finale in Eccles recently. And the Eccles RDC, not the Eccles RDC, NDC, the Neighborhood Democratic Council there, came in for some flack. He said the lazing got for nothing there. And people waste the time electing them. This is the PPP elected NDC. The PPP elected NDC. Why system is not working in this country? Why system is not working? The River Ambulance is not 40 we get. It's one servicing the Esquibo. And the one you can't find the captain. He ain't got the keys. It ain't got gas. Folks, we're in a heightened state of tension in this country. Are we in a heightened state of tension in this country? Huh? 3 years now. People still can't come out the blocks, you know. Still can't come out the blocks. And now saying that there might be a 9% increase for the public sector in a couple of days. Ain't gonna worth anything? By the time everything gone up 18%, the 9% gonna worth anything? Huh? Is gonna worth anything, folks? That's what they say. 9%, folks, could be on the horizon. Could be on the horizon. Will it matter? And finally, folks, worth $2 billion in costs to accommodate new army boats. Finally, a step in the right direction. Finally, when you know this government is one step forward, two backward, and tremble. Tremble! 1 step forward, 2 step backward, and tremble. You got your whole soul to do that one. Folks, more delays they're telling us today. Gas to Shore project. Why? Jack in charge. He got hand in it. That's why. What else you want to hear? The Gas to Shore project is facing more delays. Why? Jack, you involved. Every day this project goes in a different direction, takes on a new component. Every day. New direction, a different component. Folks, that being said, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for joining our broadcast this evening, folks. That being said, we got a hard finish this evening. That being said, that's going to do it for us at this end. Good folks, wherever you're joining us from. Van Castle, good to see you on the live tonight. Carlin Haley and Sid Romaine Adams, good to see you on the live tonight. Delight One, good to see you on the live. Edward and Chili Silva, good to see each and every one of you on the live. Folks, do us a big favor before you go. Share the live, smash that emoji button for us so that more folks can get valid, credible information. And folks, please, before you go, you're praying for this country tonight, you know. Before you go to sleep, pray for this country. Pray for this country. Uncharted waters. And partner with us as well so we can do more of these programs. Here's how you can do that.
Want to keep getting the best in the ring?
Let's fight!
Yes, you can help us to keep going by partnering with us through your contributions. And it's easy. Send us a daily, weekly, or monthly donation, whichever is most convenient to you. Cash App at $in-the-ring592, Zelle and PayPal in-the-ring592@gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for how to contribute via MoneyGram and Western Union and for MMG payments.
Also, good folks, we want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm for all the documentation needs. They're right down there at the Callion Mall on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Lamaha between Camp and Waterloo, closer to Waterloo. Callion Mall on the downstairs. 649-6410, 649-6410, 685-6448, 685-6448 for all your documentation. These are the experts, folks. We use them all the time, and we recommend them to you highly, folks. Highly. We recommend them to you. Dolly Anderson, Jerry McCalman, Abira, Kyle, and all the other good folks joining us tonight from around the world. Thank you, folks. Share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button and pray for the soldiers, folks, for their safe return, folks, and pray for this country as well. That's going to do it for us tonight. That's going to do it. Stay safe.